Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dare say, as you very well know. Right. I want to give a big shout out to our sister channel, Porky's International. I hope you enjoyed watching the stuff on there. Well, where do we start, really? Where do we start? Yui won last night. That's good, isn't it? Good luck to Yui. Oi! Pipe down. Oi! Pipe down. Rolling the dice. That's what I'm going to call this video. I was going to call it Big Stiff Gate, but no, we're going to call it Rolling the Dice. Right. I know I'm a sod, aren't I, really? Can I give a shout out to Baz Blackwood? All right. Thank you very much, Baz, for giving me a big up. I mean, if I'm not right, didn't you play Lennox in Only Fools and Horses, the guy who held them all hostage at the supermarket or something like that? I'm sure somebody told me that's true. And Rory Breaker in Lock Stock. Anyway, either way, thanks for giving me a shout out on your YouTube channel. All right, thank you very much. It's nice when somebody gives you a positive shout out, isn't it? Instead of all the vileness that I have to wake up to in the morning. It's a good job I'm thick-skinned, innit? Hey, easy come, easy go, innit? Eddie says Turkey, aka tea towel turkey, triple T. Eddie's saying that Eddie's saying Triple T wants the Big Meech and Triple D rematch, Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois rematch. I should hope they do, because of the money involved. I thought these people weren't about money. They were about putting the right fights on. Well, I want to know, right, if we go back in history, when have we had a challenger going for a world title and getting a shallacking like that? And I mean a shallacking. Dubois made mincemeat at him, didn't he? Pie and mash with liquor. When have we ever seen such a beat down like that over 5 rounds? And I mean a beat down. Oh. And they've given an immediate rematch. How can the IBF do that? On what grounds? Does that mean they're breaking their rules? Will they step aside? Or what? What's the point in these governing bodies having rules if they're just going to do what they want anyway? Money talks, doesn't it? I just think it's in bad taste. That's how I look at it. Not as bad taste as Eddie Hills, who's got Oscar De La Hoya for some reason living in his head rent free. You see, this is what happens, you see, when people stand up to Eddie Hills. Yeah, it's all right while you're flavour of the month. Many boxers have been flavour of the month with Eddie Hills. When it suits, and when it suits Eddie, and when the fighters are not happy with something, or they say, "Oh no, Eddie, I'm not happy with that," or the trainers, managers of the fighters are like, "Here, Eddie, hang on a minute, that's not what you said the other week." When it gets like that, that's when we see the real Eddie in it. You know, the Eddie that threatened Ben Shalom. Come threaten me, Eddie. That's what Terry Chappendama said. Go and threaten Terry Chappendama, right? Because he can fight like when he's a strong, bull strong. Go get stuck into him and see what happens, Eddie. You mind picking on little Adrian Mole, aka Ben Shalom? You mind picking on the Mole? Go pick on Terry. He's put it on you, hasn't he? You get stuck straight into you, mate. Ripping them body shots into you. So it is what it is, isn't it? Eddie's saying AJ should have took his time in that 5th round when he had Dubois on hook. On hook, there were 2 punches he landed. That were it. I think that were it for all fight, wasn't it? And Dubois took him, ate him up like Pac-Man. Fired back, didn't he? If that's what they're holding on to, Oh my God, they've got problems, haven't they? Are they going to sell a rematch on strength for them two punches in 5th round? And what if he hadn't thrown that uppercut and left his chin up in air? We all remember what Eddie said about Booty. It's not deserving of a rematch after what Frotcher's just done to him. Well, what Daniel Dubois just done to Joshua is an absolute shocker. But it don't warrant a rematch, does it? Bricktop knows it don't, but if Turkey wants the rematch, they'll have the rematch, won't they? So it is what it is. Maxie used one last night, didn't he, after looking awful? Good luck to Maxie, he's from my town. 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. You, be quiet, you, barking. What's the matter with you? Hey? Barking constantly. So. Let's have a look what we've got in my box of tricks. Rolling the dice. Eddie, in a few interviews in the last couple of days, been speaking about we rolled the dice and we're in it to win it and dare to be great. Remember that one? Dare to be great. You know, when you're putting people like Gavin Reeson against Broner, who were pound for pound at the time, dare to be great. Rocky Fielding against Canelo, dare to be great. Billy Joe against Canelo, dare to be great. Kell Brook against Golovkin, middleweight against killer middleweight against the welterweight. Dare to be great, Kell. Save me deposit on O2 Arena. You know, rolling the dice. That's the one now, isn't it? We rolled the dice. It's a bit like that guy at Leeds United. Do you remember him? We dared to be great. Do you know what I mean? Shocking, isn't it? Absolutely shocking. I mean, we're all experts after the event, aren't we? But I knew we were going to win. I told it straight. Eddie knew as well. Oh yeah, that's why they had 2-fight deal for that fight. A challenger getting a 2-fight deal. It's unheard of, unprecedented. But it is what it is. I saw only one of the 7 sermons from Bombay Dave. Bombay Dave, why are you doing sermons on trainer Ben Davidson? Why? Are you trying to get into train Joshua? Because I think you're about only one left to one Adam, aren't you? Or one of a handful. And it's just about being with everybody, and you love to get it mixed, but it's a damned indictment why you're not, because Bellew's big mates with Eddie and big mates with Joshua. David Price might have listened to Bellew, but Joshua's not listening to Bellew and Eddie, is he? You know what I mean? We all remember David Price when he was fighting on your watch, don't we, Bombay Dave? He got knocked about ring and he was like that. He was looking for his car keys over at Edge at ring, like that, wasn't he? That were on your watch. And you took 15 bags off him in process as well for that performance. I mean, wow. What did you tell me on Twitter? Well, I'm not going to work for no. Quite rightly so. But surely you must feel bad taking that kind of money for a shallacking that you got. Oof. I'd be embarrassed, me. I'd be embarrassed, but hey ho. So it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. We've spoke about Bricktop's apology, haven't we? And Eubank, everybody wants to be friends to the end. They all want to keep Turkey happy, don't they? Yes, sir. No, sir. 3 bags full, sir. My God. What's happened to these people? I thought these people were staunch people. Words made of oak. Eh? When have we ever seen Bricktop back down from a court case when he's threatened to sue? Only once in my lifetime have I seen that man back down. And that because he ran out of money at the time and he had too much going on in his life. That was when he was going to sue Tony Bellew. That's a true story, that. Ask anybody. And Tony was feeling his nappy for, oh my God, I'm going to end up like Paul Smith here being sued. But what happened? We all know what happened, don't we? Bricktop didn't sue him. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because he didn't have any money. And that is a true story. Hamzat Shiraz. People keep going on about him. Big 6'3" middleweight. Oh my God. Telling us he does the weight easy. That means he don't do it easy. Because they're looking to move to super middleweight. But this is how I look at it. Who's his best win? Who? Who is Hamzat Shiraz's best win? Answers on a postcard. Porky Corner at mail.com. Right. Are we getting carried away with him? With Hamzat Shiraz? Are we? I think we are, mate. I think we are. We had a similar thing with Thomas Ausbausen, didn't we? I think he's about 6'4" in his super middleweight. He was going to do this and going to do that and blah, 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 calling out this person and that person. He never materialised, did it, once he stepped up. So we're going to see, but I want to see him step up. We're not talking Eubank, because he's finished, really, isn't he? Or Beefy Smith. We're talking somebody who's got a heartbeat, not somebody that's got losses on the record. When he steps up, we'll see how good he is. The jury's out now. We can't say whether he's going to be a great or not, but, you know, he's promising, isn't he? 20-0, but who's his best win? His last win is Tyler Denny. 2 seconds. Dogs. What? What do you want? So needy sometimes, dogs, aren't they? Come here. Come on then. Come here. Come on then. Come on then. Come on. Come on then. Come on. Come on then. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on then. Jump. Jump. Ah! Say hello. You don't want to get on camera, don't you? Say hello. Come on, say hello. Hey, say hello. Lucas, say hello. Best creatures in the world, aren't they? If you want loyalty, what does Bricktop always say? Get a dog. Well, then jump down. You don't want to jump down, you want to sit down? Yeah. Are you going to leave me to do some graph now? All right. Jonathan, you keep sending me the same thing every day. Shiraz and Beefy. I don't think that'll happen. Beefy's probably waiting for Eubank fight, or I don't know. But what about Eubank Conor Ben? They've wound that back up again, haven't they, in the last couple of days? Have you noticed? Eubank Ben. Oh my God. Hey? Welterweight going in with a middle stroke super middle. Didn't we learn notes after Golovkin and Kell broke? Didn't we? Or has Eddie just had enough and decided to get his money back out of Crusher Ben? I don't know, but we're going to see. Bricktop going on about Carl Froch. Let me tell you a little story, shall I? I always have to come out and defend Carl Froch, don't I? He's me pal. He's me pal. He's a pal of mine. You've got to look after your pals. You don't cash your pals in, do you? Bricktop. Right. I'm not going to go on about emails that I've read from your company years ago when I was working for Big Ron. Right. I'm going to save them in my back pocket for now. But I'm going to speak about Calzaghe. Right. Joe Calzaghe, he vacated, didn't he, on the very last day in July. It's all online if you go look, 2008. Now, Carl fought Robin Reed, Joe fought Kessler. Carl beat Reed in better fashion than Joe beat him, because everybody said Joe lost, didn't they? Although it would have passed his best Robin Reed, to be fair to Robin. He fought Kessler and he weighed 166.5 pounds against Kessler. Right? He said he made the weight easy and he could do middleweight. Everybody was like, wow. Whether he was saying that to get into his opponent's head, I don't know. And then after that fight, the heat was on from Mick Hennessy. They wanted that fight. The Cobra were mandatory for the green belt, the best belt in boxing, that they say, even though the organisation, in my opinion, stands for We Be Crooks. Right? So what happened? The talks went on for 9 months, back and forward. On the very last day, the very, 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 very last day, he vacated. Joe Calzaghe vacated. So, Carl were number 1. Jean Pascal, undefeated Olympian, were number 2. They fought. Carl won. But he stepped up, he said, right, to light heavyweight to fight a legend in Bernard Hopkins, who was at the time 43-year-old, 3 months and 4 days. So technically, he's in his 44th year. Yeah, 44th year. At that weight, Joe only went up and weighed 173 on the night. Now, super middle's 168. So, but for them 9 months, he kept saying, oh, I'm struggling with weight and all this and that, blah, de, blah. Struggling with weight. Struggling with the weight. Come on, struggling with the weight. You were 166 and a half against Kessler. So if you're struggling with weight, you're good at 175, wouldn't you, really? So we're talking £5 more than 168 pounds. So he weighed 173 when he fought Bernard Hopkins in a stinker that people had him losing. Right, so that fight was a stinker, yeah? 173 he weighed. He could have knocked £5 off and fought the Cobra. He'd done it all his career. Why all of a sudden, when he had to fight a proper kid that were coming through, did he carry off like that? And what was Froch then? 30, 31. That'd have been an hard night for him. We decided to go in against the guy in his 44th year. What a roadman Joe Calzaghe is. After all them fights he had, do we remember them all? We remember his first defence in Cardiff, don't we, against Branko Sobot. We'll have a look. 14-1 goat herder from Armenia. Goat herder. What about the lorry driver, Tucker Pudwell? What about Emger McKirchen? All these WBO defences. Look at Froch's first defence, Jermaine Taylor, a guy that he swerved, a guy that done Hopkins twice. Yeah, and a guy that after Carl beat him in his first defence, 6 years later, he was still a world champion. Yeah, he lost his belt, didn't he, in 2015 when he went to prison. So Carl done him in 2009. So that's what you're up against, isn't it? And we've got Bricktop coming out with all that nonsense. What utter nonsense. Look, Bricktop, you know what went down. Why do you always have to spin it your way, don't you? You always have to spin it, don't you? The pure hate coming out your mouth. And then look what happened. After you were threatening to sue everybody, you did note. You didn't sue anybody. You were over grovelling, all giving each other a reach around. Oh my God, Bricktop, what's happened to you? Hey? Unbelievable. Look, we all know Joe Calzaghe is an all-time great, don't we? But for me, his career was always what could have been. You know, he didn't fight Tarver, did he? Didn't fight Clinton Woods. Didn't fight Clinton Woods. You know, it is what it is. He didn't fight Glenn Johnson. He pulled out 3 times against Glenn Johnson. On the 3rd time, they had to pay £100,000 over at dollars. Bricktop's words. When they fell out and went to court, it all come out of Bricktop's mouth, didn't it? Yeah, he did. Did you ever pay that? Did you ever pay that money, Bricktop? You know, when you lost in High Court, or did you fold your company? Did you fold your company, Sports Network? Yeah, exactly. It's all online. Just type in Joe Calzaghe versus Frank Warren court case. Another good one, court transcripts, is Steve Collins versus Barry Hearn court case. We'll type that one in. That's a fantastic read, that. Do your homework. Do your homework. That's what I say. Lawrence Coley, Joe Parker, Martin McCauley, Caballel, all IBF ranked, and even Derek Chisora's ranked 10. What's going to happen to these guys here wanting a shot at Dubois if Dubois fights Joshua? What's going to happen? Why can't they just go down the list? Why does Joshua have to jump the queue? Oh, I forgot. Because they're commercially viable. I forgot, yeah. Whatever happened to talent? So does that mean if Joshua loses his next 3 or 4 fights, or the next 7, and gets knocked about and this and that, Are they still going to keep wheeling him out when he's about 38, 39-year-old, saying, well, it's pay-per-view because it's commercially viable? And we're going to see him at Copper Box on pay-per-view against Dave Allen in 5 years, but it's pay-per-view. Or will it be Wembley Stadium still? What will it be? What will it be, Eddie? Commercially viable? Hey, just ripping fans, isn't it? It's just ripping the fans. Should AJ retire? Colin Hart says yes. Let me just tell you a scenario. Muhammad Ali, he had 548 rounds in his career. Derek Chisora's had 334 rounds in his career. And they say he's shot. Joe Joyce has had 103 rounds. He's 39-year-old. His next birthday is 40. They're saying he's shot with 103 rounds. Now, Muhammad Ali should have retired after the Thriller in Manila, shouldn't he, really? Instead, he had 10 more fights. Just 10. 120 rounds. Some were 15 rounders, some were a bit less, but 120 rounds extra after the Thriller in Manila. Over 10 fights. So you got 10 training camps as well, 10 lots of sparring, yeah, on top of the 120 rounds. That's why Muhammad Ali ended up with that illness and knocked about and all that because he took punishment. Like I said, his career, 548 rounds. Derek Chisora talks like Scooby-Doo now, and he's 214 rounds less than Ali's done. Well, look at Joe Joyce. He can't string a sentence together. He's only done 103 rounds. Joshua's been knocked about. Right, we're knocked about by Ruiz several times. He had to get up at 4. And by Daniel Dubois. Vladimir dropped him. Dropped plenty in sparring. Dylan White won by stoppage in amateurs with him. Look, it's a lonely, lonely place, that ring. So that's why boxers have got my respect. But it's a lonely place, and heavyweights, the punch hardest, don't they? Because they're the biggest fellas, aren't they? But what happened to Ali now? Derek Chisora's heading that way. Because he's just going to keep fighting, isn't he? I mean, if Derek has 6, 7 more fights and goes 12 rounds, he's going to stick another 100 rounds or whatever on that, innit? You're going to keep building rounds up, keep taking punishment in sparring. Promoters not taking the punishment, are they? You know, that's why it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But it is what it is, isn't it? Like I said, Ali should have retired after Thriller in Manila, but they managed to wheel him out 10 more times. And we all saw after that, he said he felt like death after that fight. So they managed to scrape and wring 10 more fights out of him, 10 more paydays for trainers and team, and all hangers on for promoters as well. 10 more. Wheeled him out 10 more times when he was spent. He was really spent before the Thriller in Manila, wasn't he? But 10 more times. Larry Holmes one as well. Even after the Larry Holmes fight, they wheeled him out against an Olympian in Trevor Berbick, who went on to win WBC title. So Ali didn't duck anybody, did he? Didn't duck anybody, but like I've said before, and I'll say it again, 10 more times they wheeled him out. 120 more rounds of punishment, 10 more training camps. I just can't get it out of my head. So Turkey's saying he wants the Joshua Dubois rematch. You know, what Turkey wants, Turkey gets. Like I've said before, and I'll say it again, it's unprecedented, isn't it, that? Can anybody point out to me when we've seen a fight like that and they've had a rematch and it was a challenger? It's never happened, has it? You know, we never used to hear words like commercially viable, did we, back in the day? So, fighters paying to get on shows. Fighters. Can you imagine you're a fighter and your team have got to hand money over to a promoter to get on a show because the promoter's sold you a dream. I have a dream. They say, we know what promoters are on about, don't we? And they say to you, look, you pay to come on this show and we'll get you out there. You get a win, we'll lobby and get you a ranking and get you up to a big payday. So they sold the dream, aren't they, these young kids? Shocking, isn't it? Absolutely shocking. It's got to stop. The board know it's going on, but they're not doing anything about it, are they? They're weak. Ticket deals have been going on for years and move arounds. Nobody says a word, do they? Nobody says a word. Speaking of move arounds, Max won last night. He moves to 3-0. Max Jenkins. We'll have a look on BoxRec. I've just been told this morning that Adrian King's opponents pulled out on Big Ron's show. Will Big Ron slip Max in on the night? Would Max get paid? Would Max have to pay to get in mix? Because he's got a few quid, Max, hasn't he? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see what happens. But Max has got a black eye. He's walking around with it as a badge of honour. Go on, Max. Team Max. Out of a B. We spoke about Beefy, haven't we? Versus Sharaz, Amzad Sharaz. Do I want to see that? I want to see good fights. That's what I want to see. I want to see Shiraz in with somebody up at super middleweight. I mean, he's a European champion at middleweight. Move up to super middle, have a fight there, and then go get one at big guns. Got Bricktop behind you. I mean, Willie Hutchinson's got Bricktop behind him. We all saw that scorecard, didn't we? Oh my God! One of the judges had the fight 10 rounds apart from the other judge in a 12-round fight. What had he been smoking? That's what I want to know. So it is what it is, isn't it? So Daniel Dubois, man of the moment. Let's give him his flowers. Bunsey, come on, start asking some proper questions. Big Steve Bunce fan I am. I like him. He's loyal. Bunsey is very loyal. One of the loyalist media guys out there. He got stuck into Mickey Duff back in the day, didn't he? Got a 2-year ban though for in process for asking proper questions. I think it was about some of Frank Bruno's opponents, which were shockers, weren't they? We all remember when he came back and he fought that John Emmon. Oh my God, how did they sell that to BBC or ITV? Shocking. But hey ho, that's about it, really. Oh, Liverpool have got this weekend. We've done West Ham, haven't we? 5-1. Easy work. Peter De Freitas, we've just done you boys 5-1. Oh, all right then. Okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. I think we're going to get, is it David on Sunday or Sean from Scunthorpe? Max, Jerry, Kent, any of them? They're all welcome on. We'll finish off the month strong. I think this is 86 video for September, and I didn't really start about 5th, so it's not bad, is it? We had a good month, haven't you? You've had a good do out me. So to say I'm spinning a few plates. All right. Okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. And thank you to everybody for sharing the videos on your social medias, especially your WhatsApp, because I was looking earlier and it's looking good. Surprised that not many people subscribed, because last month, 64,500 people, different accounts, accessed my channel, but yet only 14,500, is it? Or just under subscribe. So hit the subscribe button and put some respect on the pork. All right. And we'll keep the videos coming. We'll see if we can bring forward next month, eh? All right, we'll see if we can up the ante, because these Zooms are getting booked in by the day. So, all right, go on. Be off with us.